Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're doing an integration. We're taking that deeply human experience of constantly waiting for the next thing, and we're combining it with the massive systemic design of permanent anticipation. What actually emerges when you put those two together? Well, it's the invisible architecture of our modern environment. So let's just step right through this archive and reveal this process that's quietly shaping all of us.
So what are you waiting for right now? Seriously, take a second and think about the exact thing you believe is going to finally change your life. Is it just for Friday to get here, a promotion, maybe a package in the mail, or even some totally new, optimized version of yourself? We all have an answer to this. It's constantly running in the background of our minds.
And because of that, waiting became normal. Think about it. Historically, we treated waiting as this temporary condition, right? A brief pause at a bus stop or the days before your birthday. And then life just naturally resumed. But slowly, quietly, it became a permanent process. Waiting isn't something you just temporarily endure anymore. It's become the actual environment you live in.
Section 1. The Human Archive. Anticipation as Identity.
It's literally always about the next thing. Your attention is just constantly moving toward that next milestone. And by always leaning forward, constantly looking out for what's coming, we're effectively reducing the present moment down to nothing more than a logistical waiting room. The present just becomes this administrative task you have to slog through to reach the supposedly important part.
Just look at the pattern of our everyday lives. It's often called Friday syndrome. Monday is purely about survival. By Wednesday, you're halfway there, anticipating the end. Friday's the big promised reward. And Sunday, well, that's just the reset button. This whole cycle shows exactly how we mentally lean toward the future, turning perfectly ordinary days into mere obstacles that we just have to manage and bypass.
We so easily confuse anticipation with progress. But the distinction here is absolutely crucial. Progress actually changes your circumstances in reality. It literally moves you forward. Anticipation, on the other hand, it merely changes your expectations. It just ensures your finish line keeps relocating farther and farther into the distance, without actually changing where you stand today.
Section 2. The System Design. Why Completion is a Flaw.
Okay, let's define the problem from the system's perspective. Arrival. It's a state of completion that terminates engagement, creates silence, and interrupts the system. For modern systems, a fully satisfied person, someone who is completely arrived, well, they stop chasing, and someone who stops chasing becomes incredibly difficult to influence. Completion creates silence, and silence is the ultimate enemy of a system built on engagement. Because of that, arrival lost its weight. To prevent that dreaded silence of completion, the system is explicitly designed to ensure that the exact moment a future finally turns into your present, it immediately loses its emotional density. It kind of has to. If arrival felt perfectly and permanently fulfilling, the whole machine would just stop. So this builds into a continuous functioning loop. Step 1, promise possibility. Step 2, generate attention. Step 3, deliver a partial reality. And Step 4, immediately introduce the next version. This ensures engagement is maintained entirely through what-ifs. Why? Well, because possibility is flawless. Reality, however, requires maintenance, it has flaws, and let's face it, eventually it gets boring.
This system operates on this stark, quantitative logic.
The value of present reality is incredibly low, while future possibility captures an overwhelming majority of our focus. The modern attention economy thrives on maybe. It proves that an unresolved, open-ended future captures vastly more human engagement than a static, completed present reality ever could. No contest.
Section 3. The Integration. The organism inside the machine.
Now, notice this tragic juxtaposition. The human experience is basically pleading, I just need one more thing to arrive. Just one more. Meanwhile, the system function strictly mandates there will never be a final version. The human belief that life officially begins later fits perfectly into a machine designed to never allow completion. It's a lock and key. And the result of that collision? Permanent anticipation. When our human desire for the next thing seamlessly merges with the system's endless update cycle, anticipation fundamentally shifts. It stops being this fleeting emotion you feel right before a vacation. It actually becomes the environment you inhabit permanently. Our modern existence maps to a recurring cycle. Announcement, countdown, release, next announcement. We exist inside a never-ending update. We're literally measuring our lives by cyclical countdowns that are structurally designed to prevent us from ever having to sit quietly with the present moment.
Which leads us to a new definition, the future environment. It's a psychological habitat where the incoming horizon is continuously more familiar and heavily reinforced than your current reality. Think about that. You're not just visiting the future anymore, you are renting an apartment there. Your entire psychology is adapted to continuous anticipation.
The process continues indefinitely. You are constantly encouraged to become a better version of yourself, and then, inevitably, a better version of that version. The system effectively turns your very identity into a subscription model, one that requires constant, unending updating.
But there is a massive hidden cost to this, because attention moved ahead. Every minute you spend mentally living in the future is a minute fundamentally unavailable to today. Your present experiences become terribly thin. They get recorded at a low resolution in your memory, simply because your attention was already spent on tomorrow. There is no final version. We accepted a trade without fully realizing it. We traded a stronger relationship with our actual, tangible reality in exchange for a much stronger relationship with infinite possibility. And the catch? Possibility never actually arrives. The ultimate realization is this: life was never waiting ahead. The waiting became part of the life itself. When you finally look back at the years you spent treating life like a bridge to the quote-unquote real thing, the uncomfortable truth is that the waiting room was your life all along. Time didn't pause while you were looking ahead.
As we wrap up this integration, remember, the ideas are human. This explainer offers no self-help, no motivation, and no neat, easy solutions. Actually, scratch that. It offers 0 solutions. This is purely an exercise in recognition. We are simply observing the invisible architecture that we all occupy every single day.
The narration is digital. While we pause here to reflect, the system out there continues to run. The countdowns continue to tick down in the background of our apps and our minds, and the next thing is always inevitably approaching. This is the protocol Multiverse. Human system integration. Through this archive, you now see both the human feeling of waiting and the massive systemic gear that constantly drives it forward. You see exactly how the organism and the machine become one. We've laid out the architecture. We've shown you the future environment you inhabit. So if the waiting room has been your life all along, what happens if the next thing never arrives? Well, interpretation remains yours.